What's up, y'all? It's your girl Brii, Miss Bend Over, Take All That Dick, Turn Around, Bend Over, Take All That Shit, aka Miss What You Want, I got that bang bang, aka the biggest, the baddest, the messiest. What happened? What happened?
Brii had a mansion party she had a mansion party. The party shut down. They had a great time at the party. Nothing happened at the party. No ops came. Everybody enjoyed their time. They threw $100,000 in the mansion party. Everybody had a great time. Everybody left the party and went to a gas station. When they went to a gas station, two girls that got nothing to do with Brii just died for no reason.
Police identified one of the victims as popular social media influencer, 21-year-old Brianna Johnson.
And NBC6's Kim Nguyen is outside the hospital where two of the victims are still being treated. How are they doing, Kim?
Yeah, well, I have been checking in with police all day. At last check, they said that one of the victims was in critical condition and the other in serious condition. That third victim, as you guys mentioned, was a very popular influencer who did not survive. Take a look at this surveillance video. Police are hoping it helps catch the person or people behind a deadly triple shooting that killed one woman and hurt two men early Sunday morning. You see a white BMW pull up to the driver's side of a green Lamborghini near Sunshine Boulevard, north of the turnpike. Then it speeds away. The Lamborghini slowly drifts forward into the front yard of someone's home. Police say a woman and two men were inside the Lamborghini. The woman has been identified as 21-year-old Brianna Johnson, a popular social media influencer known to her followers as It Girl Brii and DreamDoll Brii. Neighbors describe hearing someone screaming for help.
I think there was someone out here hollering and screaming that something happened, somebody called the police.
911, what's the address of the emergency? Okay, where are you located, sir?
I'm not sure. I'm in Fort Lauderdale.
Are you in Fort Lauderdale or are you in Miramar, sir?
I don't know where I'm at.
Okay,
please help me.
Now. Okay.
Please help me. Please.
I understand, sir. Hello.
Come to location.
You need to give me a...
Hey, come to my location now. Come. Police, come.
Hello.
Come. We're down the street.
Hello, sir.
I'm here. Yes, it's me. I don't know. We're trying to look at the police. Police.
Repeat that one more time. Bam. Okay.
I can't do this. I can't. I don't know. Just come to the address, please.
They are going to be on the way, but we need to know how the subject looks.
Do this. I can't.
Man, calm down. You seriously not gonna help?
I cannot.
You gonna fix what they're trying to say?
I cannot do this right now. I cannot do this now.
Give the phone to someone who can speak with me. Give the phone to someone who can speak with me. Ma'am. Hello.
Come. Please just come.
Okay,
Come.
Sir.
Before sunrise on July 5th, 2026, a quiet neighborhood in Miramar, Florida, became the center of an investigation that would leave detectives searching for answers. Brianna Johnson, widely known online as DreamDoll Brii, was riding in a lime green Lamborghini SUV with two other occupants when gunfire suddenly erupted from another vehicle traveling alongside them. Within moments, the Lamborghini veered off the road and crashed into a nearby home, leaving investigators with a complex crime scene and a growing list of unanswered questions. Why was the vehicle targeted? Was Brianna the intended victim? Or was someone else inside the SUV the focus of the attack? As surveillance footage, witness accounts, and evidence from earlier that morning began to emerge, detectives started piecing together a timeline that stretched far beyond the shooting itself. This is the story of Brianna Johnson. Hello, and welcome to Only Crime Stories. Before we continue, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss a new case. Before her name appeared in headlines across the country, DreamDoll Brii was known to her family and friends as Brianna Johnson, a 22-year-old content creator and aspiring entertainer from South Florida. Raised in a close-knit family, Brianna grew up surrounded by relatives who encouraged her to pursue opportunities that matched her outgoing personality. People who knew her during her childhood described her as confident, social, and determined to build a career that would allow her to become financially independent. She attended local schools in South Florida, where she developed friendships that continued into adulthood. Even at a young age, Brianna showed an interest in fashion, music, and social media, believing those industries offered opportunities beyond a traditional career path. As social media platforms continue to grow, Brianna decided to create an online identity that reflected the image she wanted to present to a wider audience. She adopted the name DreamDoll Brii, a brand that combined fashion, entertainment, and lifestyle content. Her posts featured luxury vehicles, designer clothing, beauty routines, vacations, and everyday moments, attracting viewers who followed her for both her personality and her style. By consistently uploading content, she gradually expanded her audience across TikTok and Instagram, gaining thousands of followers who regularly interacted with her videos and photographs. Her online success eventually opened new opportunities beyond social media. Local businesses and brands approached her for promotional work, while collaborations with other creators helped introduce her content to even larger audiences. As her following continued to increase, Brianna also pursued music, hoping to establish herself as more than an internet personality. She released songs that reflected current trends in hip-hop and social media culture, with Bend Over becoming one of her most recognized tracks. The song gained attention through short-form video platforms, where users created dance clips and shared the audio with their own audiences. To many viewers, DreamDoll Brii represented a lifestyle built around confidence, luxury, and success. Her social media pages highlighted expensive cars, fashionable outfits, nightlife, and travel, creating a carefully managed public image that appealed to her growing fan base. Away from the camera, however, much of her personal life remained private. Like many influencers, she shared selected moments while keeping many aspects of her relationships, family life, and daily routines out of public view. By mid-2026, Brianna Johnson had become a recognizable digital personality in South Florida, building a brand that continued to grow through entertainment, music, business collaborations, and an expanding online presence. In the months leading up to the shooting, Brianna Johnson maintained a lifestyle centered on content creation, music, and networking throughout South Florida. Much of her time was spent with close friends, relatives, and other influencers, often visiting restaurants, lounges, clubs, and private events where she created videos and photographs for her social media accounts. Miami, Miramar, and nearby cities frequently appeared in her posts, reflecting the locations where she socialized and expanded her professional network. She was also known for driving and appearing with luxury vehicles, including the lime green Lamborghini SUV she was riding in on the morning of the shooting. Professionally, Brianna was focused on growing her online brand beyond social media. She continued promoting her music, building partnerships with local businesses, and collaborating with other creators to increase her audience. Family remained an important part of her life, and she regularly spent time with relatives, including cousins who were part of her close circle. During the 4th of July weekend in 2026, Brianna Johnson remained active across South Florida, spending time with friends and continuing the lifestyle regularly shown on her social media accounts. According to investigators and reports from people familiar with the case, she and members of her circle attended a private gathering at a mansion being used as an Airbnb rental before later visiting a nightclub. Authorities believe these locations were important in reconstructing the hours leading up to the shooting, as detectives worked to identify everyone who had contact with Brianna during the night. As the evening turned into the early morning of July 5th, Brianna was reportedly traveling with 2 other occupants after leaving the nightclub. Investigators have reviewed surveillance footage, witness statements, and digital evidence to establish a timeline of their movements before dawn. Her social media activity from that weekend showed the same fashion and lifestyle content her followers were accustomed to seeing, while several photos and videos posted online have been examined to determine where she was and who accompanied her. Before sunrise on July 5th, 2026, Brianna Johnson and 2 other occupants left the final location they had visited during the Independence Day weekend. Investigators believe the group had spent several hours attending social gatherings before beginning the drive through Miramar, Florida, in the early morning. Their movements during this period have become a central focus of the investigation, with detectives reconstructing the route using surveillance cameras, witness interviews, and digital evidence collected from multiple locations. The group was traveling in a distinctive lime green Lamborghini Urus, a vehicle that was easily recognizable because of its bright color and luxury design. Brianna was one of 3 people inside the SUV. As the Lamborghini continued through a residential area shortly before 5:30 a.m., investigators believe another vehicle began following it. Surveillance footage reviewed by detectives reportedly shows a white BMW or similar white sedan traveling behind the Lamborghini before the shooting occurred. Authorities are examining video from nearby homes, traffic cameras, and businesses to determine exactly when the suspect vehicle first appeared, whether it had been tracking the Lamborghini for an extended distance, and if additional vehicles were involved. The shooting unfolded in a residential area near Southwest 27th Court and Sunshine Boulevard in Miramar, Florida, during the early morning hours of July 5, 2026. According to investigators, the lime green Lamborghini Urus, carrying Brianna Johnson and 2 other occupants, was traveling westbound toward the intersection when another vehicle moved into position beside it. Police say a white BMW or similar white sedan approached on the driver's side before gunfire erupted without warning. Authorities have not publicly disclosed the exact number of shots fired, but investigators confirmed that all 3 occupants inside the Lamborghini were struck by gunfire. Investigators believe the Lamborghini itself was the intended target rather than a random vehicle. That conclusion is based on surveillance footage, witness statements, and the manner in which the suspect vehicle positioned itself alongside the SUV before opening fire. Detectives are continuing to examine whether the suspects have been following the Lamborghini for an extended period before the attack and what events may have led to the shooting. After the gunfire, the driver lost control of the Lamborghini. Surveillance video shows the SUV continuing through the intersection, rolling past the stop sign before leaving the roadway. Unable to stop, the vehicle crashed into the front of a nearby residence, causing visible damage to the property. Emergency calls from residents reported that a vehicle had struck the home moments after the shooting. Authorities later confirmed that no one inside the residence was injured, allowing investigators to focus on the victims inside the Lamborghini and the search for those responsible for the targeted ambush. Within moments of the shooting, multiple residents in the Miramar neighborhood began calling 911 to report what had happened. Several callers initially believed the loud bursts were fireworks because the attack occurred during the 4th of July holiday weekend. As they looked outside, however, they saw a lime green Lamborghini that had crashed into the front of a nearby home and quickly realized they were witnessing the aftermath of a shooting rather than a celebration. Dispatchers immediately began gathering information from different callers, asking about the number of victims, the location of the crash, and whether the suspects were still in the area. Emergency medical services and police officers were sent to the scene without delay. Newly released 911 recordings captured callers urgently requesting ambulances and describing injured occupants trapped inside the SUV, while others reported seeing a white vehicle speeding away immediately after the gunfire. Witnesses who lived nearby said they rushed toward the crashed Lamborghini as soon as it came to a stop. Several residents attempted to check on the occupants while waiting for first responders to arrive, but the severity of the situation limited what they could do before emergency personnel reached the scene. Others focused on providing dispatchers with information that could assist responding officers, including the direction in which the suspected getaway vehicle had fled. Initial witness descriptions consistently refer to a white BMW or a similar white sedan leaving the area at high speed shortly after the shooting. Those early observations became an important part of the investigation, allowing detectives to compare witness accounts with surveillance footage from nearby homes, traffic cameras, and businesses. By combining emergency calls, eyewitness statements, and video evidence, investigators began constructing the first detailed timeline of the attack and the suspect's escape. When Miramar police officers and emergency medical personnel arrived at the crash scene, they found 3 shooting victims inside the lime green Lamborghini Urus. All 3 had suffered gunshot wounds and required immediate medical attention. First responders worked quickly to stabilize the victims before transporting them to Memorial Regional Hospital, where trauma teams began emergency treatment. Brianna Johnson, the 21-year-old influencer known online as DreamDoll Brii, had sustained critical injuries during the attack. Despite extensive medical efforts, she was later pronounced dead at the hospital. Her identity was confirmed by both law enforcement and her family, bringing national attention to a case that was already drawing widespread interest because of the targeted nature of the shooting. Among the other victims was Arthur Lee Johnson III, known to relatives as AJ. Police later identified him as Brianna's cousin, with family members explaining that the two were raised closely and shared a strong family bond. Arthur arrived at Memorial Regional Hospital in critical condition and remained under intensive medical care for several days following the shooting. Although doctors continued treatment in an effort to save his life, Miramar police later confirmed that he died from his injuries, making him the second fatal victim in the attack. Following his death, family members publicly rejected rumors circulating online, emphasizing that Arthur had no gang affiliations and urging the public to focus on verified information released by investigators. A third occupant of the Lamborghini survived the ambush. Authorities have chosen not to publicly identify him, citing the ongoing investigation. Police later confirmed that he was released from the hospital after receiving treatment for serious facial injuries, including a jaw injury that required medical intervention. Beyond confirming that he survived, investigators have withheld additional information about his condition, his role inside the vehicle, and any statements he may have provided to detectives. Law enforcement has also declined to disclose which occupant was driving the Lamborghini or where each victim was seated when the gunfire began, explaining that those details remain part of the active homicide investigation. Detectives continue to rely on forensic evidence, surveillance footage, and witness interviews to determine exactly how the attack unfolded and who was responsible. After the victims were transported to the hospital, the area surrounding the crash was secured as an active crime scene. Detectives from the Miramar Police Department, crime scene technicians, and forensic investigators began documenting every detail before the damaged Lamborghini Urus was removed. The vehicle was photographed from multiple angles, and investigators carefully examined the exterior and interior for evidence that could help reconstruct the attack. Visible bullet damage on the SUV helped determine the direction for which the gunfire originated and identify the areas that sustained the greatest number of impacts. Each bullet strike was measured, marked, and recorded as part of the forensic investigation. Crime scene personnel searched the roadway for physical evidence, including spent shell casings, bullet fragments, and other materials that may have been left behind by the suspects. Every recovered item was cataloged and sent for laboratory testing. Investigators also documented tire marks, debris from the collision, and the final resting position of the Lamborghini to recreate the sequence of events from the moment the shots were fired until the vehicle crashed into the nearby residence. Surveillance footage quickly became one of the most valuable sources of evidence. Detectives collected recordings from residential security cameras, nearby businesses, and traffic cameras along the route traveled by the Lamborghini. These videos are being analyzed to identify the suspect vehicle, determine its movements before and after the shooting, and establish whether additional vehicles were involved. Authorities have not publicly confirmed the use of a ShotSpotter gunfire detection system in connection with this case. The forensic investigation also includes ballistic analysis to determine whether all recovered bullets and shell casings were fired from the same weapon or from multiple firearms. Specialists are comparing ballistic markings with national databases to identify possible links to other crimes. In addition, investigators are processing the Lamborghini and other recovered evidence for DNA and fingerprint evidence that could identify individuals who had contact with the vehicle. While officials have not released the results of these examinations, they have stated that forensic testing remains an important part of the ongoing homicide investigation as detectives continue working to identify those responsible for the targeted attack. As the investigation progressed, detectives focused on reconstructing every movement made by the victims and the suspected shooters during the hours leading up to the attack. The Miramar Police Department has led the homicide investigation, working alongside crime scene specialists and other law enforcement partners as needed for forensic analysis and evidence processing. From the beginning, investigators treated the case as a targeted shooting and began reviewing every available source of information to determine who was responsible and how the attack was planned. A major part of the investigation involves an extensive review of surveillance footage. Detectives collected recordings from traffic cameras positioned along major roadways, residential security cameras in neighborhoods surrounding the shooting, and business surveillance systems near locations the victims visited before the attack. Investigators are also examining videos recorded earlier that night at the Mansion Airbnb, the nightclub, the reported Shell gas station confrontation, and other locations connected to the victims' movements. In addition, publicly shared social media posts and videos have been reviewed to identify individuals who interacted with Brianna Johnson and her companions during the final hours before the shooting. The digital investigation extends beyond video evidence. Detectives are analyzing cell phone records, electronic communications, and location data, where legally obtained, to establish an accurate timeline of events. Investigators are working to determine when the victims left each location, whether they were followed, and how the suspected shooters positioned themselves before the ambush. Electronic evidence may also help identify communication between potential suspects before and after the shooting. By combining surveillance footage, witness statements, forensic evidence, and digital records, investigators continue reconstructing the route traveled by the lime green Lamborghini Urus and the movements of the suspected white BMW or similar white sedan. Although authorities have not disclosed many investigative findings, they have indicated that evidence from multiple sources is being compared to identify everyone involved and determine whether the attack was planned in advance. Because the investigation remains active, detectives have withheld certain details that could compromise future interviews, arrests, or prosecutions. From the first hours of the investigation, the Miramar Police Department stated that detectives believe the shooting was a targeted attack rather than a random act of violence. Investigators confirmed that the suspects approached the lime green Lamborghini Urus in another vehicle before opening fire and then fleeing the area. Early witness statements and surveillance footage led police to focus on a white BMW or a similar white sedan, which was seen traveling near the Lamborghini shortly before the shooting. Detectives have continued working to identify the occupants of that vehicle and determine where it traveled before and after the attack. As the investigation expanded, police urged anyone with information, surveillance video, or dash camera footage to come forward. Authorities asked the public to contact the Miramar Police Department homicide tip line or submit anonymous information through Broward County Crime Stoppers, emphasizing that even small details could help identify those responsible. Crime Stoppers has indicated that eligible tips may qualify for a cash reward. Despite reviewing surveillance footage, forensic evidence, witness statements, and digital records, detectives continue to face significant investigative challenges. The attack happened within seconds, the suspects fled immediately, and investigators have released only limited information to protect the integrity of the case. As of the latest official update, no arrests have been announced, and police have not publicly identified any suspects or persons of interest. Detectives continue examining new evidence, following leads, and asking the public for assistance as they work to determine who carried out the targeted shooting and what motive led to the deadly attack. In the days following the shooting, Brianna Johnson's family publicly remembered her as more than a social media personality known as DreamDoll Brii. Relatives described her as a dedicated family member with goals that extended beyond her online presence, asking the public to remember the person they knew rather than focusing solely on her internet image. As news of the case spread across social media, family members also encouraged people to rely on verified information released by investigators instead of speculation circulating online. Following the death of Arthur Lee Johnson III, his relatives issued similar statements. Family members rejected rumors that attempted to link him to criminal organizations or gang activity, stating that there was no evidence supporting those claims. They emphasized that Arthur was a victim of the shooting and asked the public not to spread misinformation while detectives continued their investigation. Their statements reflected concerns that unverified online narratives could interfere with the search for those responsible. Both families called for justice and urged anyone with information about the shooting to cooperate with law enforcement. They expressed hope that surveillance footage, witness accounts, and forensic evidence would help identify the suspects. Public tributes and memorial gatherings were held to honor Brianna and Arthur, with friends, relatives, and supporters coming together to remember their lives. While some funeral details were shared privately with family and close friends. The focus of public statements remained on supporting the ongoing investigation and encouraging anyone with credible information to come forward. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories. See you in the next case.